I wanted to do a video on Ahimsa, or what is basically the yogic concept of dietary nonviolence, or not consuming flesh foods. Of course, flesh foods are foods that are animals. What turned me on to Ahimsa was actually not yoga. It was, or not fascism for that matter. It was Charles Darwin's book, The Expression of Emotions in Humans and Animals, which is a book that shows, obviously, the expressions and how animals have emotions, which led me to understand that animals are sentient and do feel pain and suffering, and that it is not moral for me to consume their flesh if I didn't need to. Of course, after further research into vegetarianism, I discovered that veganism was much healthier than, an omnivorous diet. But how does this tie into fascism? Well, the third position is heavily influenced by two religious philosophies. Number one is esoteric Buddhism, and number two is esoteric Hinduism, both of which promote ahimsa, or dietary nonviolence. Adolf Hitler, despite being a Roman Catholic, was a practicer of what we would term today esoteric National Socialism, and he practiced ahimsa, dietary nonviolence. When you practice dietary nonviolence, it alters the way you view the world. It really does make you a more feeling person. Now, a lot of people are bullshit vegetarians. They still eat meat, or they call themselves pescatarians or flexitarians or what have you. But their outlook is not perfected in a way. I don't want to say perfected, because nobody's attitude is perfected. But what it is when you're consuming meat and you're not actually putting a conscious effort into obeying a diet that helps you to understand things in a more peaceful mindset, you're missing out on the benefits of ahimsa. There are also a lot of vegetarians that go far too crazy with the vegetarianism. However, what's important to understand when one practices dietary nonviolence is it's also like giving a middle finger to the capitalist exploitation of the worker, both the American worker and the workers in these third world countries that are exploited for the benefit of these multinational corporations such as Green Giant and all these other companies that exploit the average worker. So it's like giving a middle finger to capitalism. It's also a lot of fresh produce. And if you buy, like I do, foods in an ethnic market that is, I buy a lot of foods at a Korean market, a lot of it is not kosher. So you're not paying that kosher tax. There's a lot of benefits that tie in to fascism with ahimsa, with vegetarianism in general. Also, it's important to understand that one of the goals of National Socialism is honoring the laws of nature. The human animal is not a carnivorous animal. It never was. There are some groups of people that eat more meat than others, and a lot of these groups that do eat more meat than others, do so out of necessity because there's not fresh vegetable food. This is why the closer you get to the equator, the healthier you are. The further away you get, the less healthy. And this is because the further you get away from the equator, the more you have to rely on flesh foods. I highly recommend Dr. McDougall's starch solution to learn more about how to eat the most healthy vegetarian diet, as well as the website nutritionfacts.org and also the YouTube videos of Dr. Greger from nutritionfacts.org. As also the book Salubrious Living by, Ben Clausen. However, with Salubrious Living, one caveat: the frugivorous diet that is promoted in Salubrious Living and the raw food aspect of it is not proven to be healthy. The best diet I've found is the Seventh-day Adventist diet, which is the most easy diet that you can possibly follow that's vegan, while respecting ahimsa. And also, obviously, avoiding dairy, because the Adventist vegan diet, you avoid dairy as well, which is, again, giving a middle finger to these capitalists. But do not replace the flesh foods and the dairy foods with consumerist products. This is why I like to shop at a Korean market, where the foods that I am purchasing are not health foods, they're foods. Soy milk is a traditional food in Korea. It is not a fancy pants food like you'd get silk whatever. And I also get the you don't want to be buying the consumerist foods. One, they're a lot of times only slightly healthier, if healthier at all. And the other thing is, you quit giving a middle finger to the capitalist establishment when you start participating in the vegan subculture.